The national media do not get it. Even the local media do not get it. It is not a Confederate flag.
Well,
it is the Confederate battle flag,
right,
first hoisted by the Army of Northern Virginia.
Right.
The Confederate flag, the stars and bars, the actual Confederate flag, is really copied in the Georgia state flag.
Well, that's true, but that's not the flag.
And all these media, they get it wrong. They don't get it.
Well,
now, how far do you go, Phil?
So does the rest of the public.
How far do you go, Phil?
Well, that's a good point. How far do you go? And I think that's the question, because, you know, this country may be called the United States of America, but I'm very fearful, and I've never said this before, that from now on in this country, it may not be a United States of America, because the hard political left loves to stir things up and to divide us. That's why I like the Georgia game. And suppress.
What hard political left are you talking about? This is a Republican initiative, Phil, that we're talking about on the battle flag,
There's a political aspect.
We're talking about Republican governors, a Republican speaker in the state of Mississippi.
Can I just finish my point?
I just don't know where this hard left is coming from.
I'm going to explain it to you if you let me.
All right.
All right. The hard left is in favor of cultural cleansing. Now, you may like that.
Come on.
But, you know, when Hillary Clinton says all Confederate emblems and symbols have to go, that's outrageous. It's a bridge too far. And I tell you what, there's a backlash coming. Yeah, people of goodwill like us on this show, we discuss it civilly. We can talk about a flag and where it should be put. But, you know, that flag, and you pointed out it's a battle flag, it's to honor the fallen. And Georgia.
Phil, that's so untrue.
No, you know, there's two sides to the story.
You can use the Confederate flag, as Dick was saying, to honor the fallen and the Civil War, but the battle flag has been co-opted by skinheads and racists and the Klan.
You know, yes, it has, but you don't. That doesn't mean that the Christian cross has been co-opted by horrible people. But we don't give up the Christian cross as a Christian.
Well, they want us to.
Yeah, but we aren't.
They are. That's where the Supreme Court's going, and where the left is going.
Well,
they want religion expunged.
There needs to be
I don't know how you all turn this into something partisan and liberal versus conservative.
I'm not being partisan.
You had a bunch of Republicans say, let's not do this anymore. Let's not fly this symbol of hate outside our capital.
And that's a fine debate to have over in South Carolina. I'm looking at the bigger picture, which you don't want to discuss. The tearing down of statues, which you already hear, the sandblasting of Stone Mountain.
John Lewis.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
John Lewis talked about taking down the statue of Alexander Hamilton Stevens from the National Statuary in D.C. This was a man who said that our nation is based on the superiority of the white man.
You know,
you don't think that statue should come down?
He was the vice president of the Confederate States of America, which was not part of the United States.
The Confederacy, with its good and bad, is part of our national historical fabric.
Exactly. No one is saying we're just saying put it in its proper context, in its proper place.
You know, ultimately, we could debate symbols till we're blue in the face. The fact of the matter is this kid was 21, 22 years old, which demonstrates that we are minting a new generation of racists in America.
Well,
and that concerns us all.
That's
well, I share your concern, but I think he was just sick.
You know, if some global warming activist marches into Exxon Mobile and shoots up the place, does that mean that you're wrong about global warming? No, there's nuts.
All right, well, let's turn it back to Georgia. John Lewis has gone off the reservation. He wants the statue removed from the U.S. Capitol. I presume he wants the monuments to Confederate war dead removed from every county square in the state of Georgia.
You don't have to assume that at all. He's making one point about one person who was a treasonous individual who spent time in prison after the Civil War.
Who's in the National Statuary Hall.
With
Crawford Law.
All Confederate veterans and their descendants are traitors? Is that what you're saying?
Meantime, while we're having this debate, let's go back to specifics.
You know, Dick, let me make one point. There are 70 million descendants of Confederate veterans, and you make some good points. And yes, that symbol has been co-opted by terrible people, but on the other hand, there is this other side of the coin where you have honoring the dead.
How many descendants of slaves do you think there are?
And you know, I think 95% of the Confederate soldiers were never slaveholders.
Well, about 12% of the population.
How many descendants of slaves?
About 12% of the population.
No. He's talking about how many.
The descendants.
I'm talking about descendants of slaves.
He's talking about numbers.
Yes.
70 million.
All right. So Governor Deal wants to change the Confederate battle flag license plate, specialty plate, which has only been purchased by 3,500 people. It's not, and frankly, would either of us buy one and drive it in downtown Atlanta? I don't think so.
You don't want your car vandalized.
I think I'd like to keep my car. But I think Governor Deal, he's so cautious, he took a half step on it. Remove the background.
He took no step
but keep the
emblem.
emblem.
Then he called the AJC back, and then he took a half step on it.
Right.
Remember that
it requires legislative action.
It was tweeted early on Friday that it has been removed from the license plate choice online.
Well, it is a state law that this is to benefit the sons of Confederate veterans, and so you can't just automatically stop it. It may be off a website. It takes legislative action. Right. And by the way, in the state of Georgia, state laws protect Confederate memorials and cemeteries, and
they won't anymore.
I don't care. Says it's not going away.
Well, that's precisely why they were not able to lower the flag on this Capitol grounds.
And by the way, this whole past week showed you how irrelevant the argument became, in my view. All of a sudden, Roy Barnes is out of the crypt.
And Roy Barnes out of the crypt? What do you mean? He was representing your speaker last week.
Well, that's fine. Let him do that. But here he comes, a defeated governor who wants to do away with Confederate Memorial Day. I don't disagree with him on that. I think that is an anachronism.
I think
there's one Memorial Day for our dead.
I agree with that, but I think if you still want to honor the Confederate dead, there ought to be a way to do it.
Yeah, in the privacy of your own home.